on college campuses used to have debate. What are you seeing right now on college campuses?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is my day job, right? So I wrote this book as a singular project, but what I really do is we have a machine at Turning Point USA. We have 160 full-time staff. We're on 2,000 high school and college campuses across the country. We're working very hard. I think I'm the only conservative to speak at UC Berkeley, Stanford, and UCLA in one semester and live to tell about it. So, but I also I've spoke all across the country. To be perfectly honest with you, the greatest threat to our country is what's happening on college campuses, and we as conservatives need to recognize that. And it's less about reform and more about rebellion, to be perfectly honest with you. These are multi-billion-dollar cartels that don't care about the students that are going through their halls, that are not interested in teaching students core American values. A couple thoughts on this. For high schoolers out there, just ask yourself the question, why am I going to school, not where am I going to school? You do not need to go to four-year college to succeed in our country. You do not need to go to four-year college to succeed in our country. We need more plumbers, electricians, HVAC, welders, police officers, firefighters, veterans, and entrepreneurs. And in my opinion, far less people that go to the elite schools all across the country that prognosticate and tell us about how horrible and awful America is. There's actually a massive multi-billion-dollar window for people that are specifically trained in the skills for American-based trained labor, and that deficit needs to be filled, I think, by high schoolers. Parents far too often push their kids into college. I'm just going to give you some hard truths here. Unfortunately, more times than not, it's about the parent's ego, not the kid's future. If you as a parent out there are not prepared to look at your friend, your family member, or your neighbor and look them in the eye and say, my kid is not going to college and I'm perfectly okay with it, then it's more about your ego than your kid's future. And I say that with love, and I say that with compassion for your kid's future, because you see that in the University of Southern California admission scandal. In what world is it okay to fabricate that your kid was not involved in any athletic competition? It was the parents that were doing that. We're not just talking about one-off thing. We're talking a million-dollar industry where parents were fabricating records and doing immoral and illegal things so their kids could go to USC. So what if your kid goes to USC? And I mean, I don't mean this as a way to insult anyone that this might have, but I see these parents where they say, my kid's an honor roll student. I'm like, I would be embarrassed if my parents had a sticker. How about, like, my kid's a good person? Like, I mean, right? I mean, I don't, but it doesn't resonate with me. This hyperfixation on who can climb the academic ladder the quickest. It's important if you want to do certain things, and I hope everyone wants to go to the highest level, but I care much more about your character and your work ethic than what degree you got from some coastal institution.